Peace, what's going down? It's DJ Payne, one for beatstars.com, here with a special guest. This is his first, I believe, interview period. One of the top selling producers on BeatStars, Taylor King. What's going down?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm good. I appreciate you sitting down and christening your production career with this interview.
Pretty excited, man. I appreciate you taking the time.
So let me get into these hardcore personal questions. All right, so the wackest producer on the internet right now. Go. No, I'm playing. How long you been making beats, man? You're young. I was surprised to find out how young you were. How long have you been doing this?
I'm 23. I've probably been making beats since I was around like 16, 17. So I got started like while I was in high school.
You play guitar as well. Have you been playing guitar just as long or longer?
I've kind of been playing guitar since like elementary school. Like I got lessons for a little bit. And then from there on, I was just like self-taught. Same with piano, pretty much.
So as far as production goes, then in that career span of under a decade, have you ever had a major placement on a big label project?
No.
How long have you been making a living off of selling beats without ever having had a major placement?
It's been about 4 years now since I've been doing it like officially. So yeah. Like I have some stuff in the works, but nothing has officially ever come through yet as far as like a major placement.
This is what's so dope to me about this new production marketplace model that's come, I guess, in terms of the history of the music business pretty recently with online sales. And I tweeted about this recently. It was that I tweeted a lot of producers who sell beats online, specifically producers who sell type beats, because there's all this controversy surrounding the type beats model. A lot of producers who are selling type beats are making good livings. A lot of them are even making six-figure incomes in spite of all the criticism they receive, because a lot of people will say, well, if you're making type beats, you're not getting major placements. I'd argue that's not true. But you're in an interesting position because you're making a living off of making type beats with no major placements yet. I know you got some in the works. I'm not going to press you unless you want to talk about them. Then I'll get an exclusive. But obviously, I got a ton of criticism saying, no way, type beat producers aren't making anything.
Right.
One of the BeatStars, a fellow BeatStars user, 30 Hertz Beats, tweeted, and I'll just read it off the sheet. He tweeted, "I've been making beats since 2008, and I was frustrated because I didn't get any placements. Since last year, I uploaded type beats, and it changed everything for me. I'm now at $10,000 a month."
It's insane. You can definitely do it without being in the industry at all. I've read before about other people that have only been in the industry and, tripled or quadrupled what they made just from putting beats online and doing type beats. You can literally make a living off of beats without being in the industry at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I spoke with Curtis King. He said that I think the first month he started selling beats online, that he made more money than he had made in his entire career chasing major label placements.
Right.
Yeah. And you don't have to tell me how much you're making, but based on your experiences and the experiences of your peers, would you say that selling beats on the internet provides a pretty good income for you?
Definitely. 4 years ago, I was probably making, like the first year that I officially would have called this my job, I was making, $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And like for me then, I felt like on top of the world. Like this year, my biggest month was over $20,000. So it's just doubled and doubled like every year, it seems, to the point where it's like I'm going to do this as long as I can. And I feel like the major placements will start to come as well. They'll just start to follow. And
you have gotten recently some offers from some major label artists, correct?
I've been working with Paris, which is a new artist that just signed a 300. I recently got another opportunity with a Boogie. He made a song to one of my beats. There's a lot of things that are starting to happen, and I'm starting to see kind of like the industry side of it and the placement side of it pick up now. Like that's pretty much my next big goal, is to become a gold producer or a platinum producer, and kind of make great records with big artists and stuff like that.
And these are artists who are finding your beats online, either on your BeatStars or your YouTube, right?
Yep, everyone finds me on YouTube. Like I'll send out beats to A&Rs and to labels and stuff, and then later on it seems like they'll come back to me for those same beats, because an artist found it on YouTube.
That's interesting. I'm not going to touch that one. We could talk about that all day. Back to the Twitter BS. After I tweeted about type beat producers making good incomes, the one producer claimed that no type beat producers ever worked with top talents or received any awards, which is crazy to me. And I brought up Panda, which was actually originally listed as a
Right.
Meek Mill type beat, and that went several times platinum. It was nominated for a
And it
Grammy.
turned into one of the biggest songs
One
of
of
the
the
year, you know.
biggest, honestly, probably the last 5 years. It was. I don't know
Yeah.
how many times platinum it actually went, but it's certified again and again.
If you put a beat online, anything can happen with it. Anybody can find it. You never know. That's why the way I live now, because people are always like, "Oh, you should save your best beats. You shouldn't upload your best beats." I'm like, I upload everything because that's the way that they're gonna get placed. If they have that chance, that's how it's gonna happen. Someone's gonna find it on YouTube. If it's good enough, someone will find it. Someone will hear it.
So given that so many producers who make type beats or just any kind of beat that they upload to the internet available to the general public are supporting themselves, but also going platinum, winning awards, whether they're ascap or BMI awards, whether they're
Right.
Grammy nominations. Why do you think there's still such a stigma on internet producers, even from other producers in the industry? Why do you think there's so much criticism?
I just think people always want something to complain about and something to hate on. And a lot of people are just mad and upset that they didn't get in on it when they should have. And so they just put us down and try to put us in a category of we're not on the same level. We're not, the way that we do things is cheesy or whatever people want to say. In reality, I think that we're winning more than anyone. It's great to work from home and make a living off what you love doing. Like if you're doing that, it doesn't matter what anybody else says anyway.
So speaking of working from home, where is home for you?
I live in a small town, New Jersey, called Delanco. So I'm about half an hour away from Philly and an hour south of Newark, New Jersey.
So let me ask, why not relocate to LA or Atlanta? I remember when I got my first placement, everyone was saying, move to New York, move to LA.
Right. A lot of people will tell me that too. And it's just like, we don't need to. We can live anywhere and do what we do. That's kind of the beauty in it. Like maybe eventually one day I'll relocate or something, but I don't need to do anything. I'm comfortable, so we can do our jobs from anywhere in the world. That's the beauty in it all.
A lot of people now, producers, are sending me tweets, sending me messages saying, "Hey man, I heard the online beat selling thing is dead," and they heard it from someone else
That's
who
crazy.
heard it from someone else. And earlier, what you were saying is that you only started 4 years ago. It's not as though you got in around the Johnny Giuliano era,
Right. Yeah. When I got in, I was still looked at it as like it was just a hobby for me. I never thought it would turn into my job. And I started because I liked listening to other producers type beats. So I wanted to do something similar. Now, I feel like now it's just getting started. Like it's just starting to blow up on a way larger scale. My goal when I started was to have a video on YouTube with 50,000 views. And now I have a video with almost 5 million, I think, or over 5 million. So if anything, it's just growing and growing and getting bigger. So we're just getting started. It's nothing still.
So all the producers who haven't really gone all in and they're feeling discouraged because they're seeing, the Taylor Kings and the Cash Money APs, they shouldn't be discouraged.
No, not at all. I see people all the time with 2, 3, 4,000 subscribers and they're at 100,000 in a year. So it's like, if you're making good content and you're putting good content out and being consistent, you can blow up fast. People will notice you. People will like your music. They'll subscribe. Anybody can blow up in a year. That shouldn't stop you at all.
Another kind of intimidation factor for a lot of producers is the emphasis on advertising dollars with regard to beat sales. And we kind of had an informal conversation a while ago, and I was surprised to learn this about you. You told me that you haven't really spent much money on advertising, correct?
Yeah, I've experimented a little bit. I've done advertising on BeatStars. I've done a little bit on YouTube. I don't really like the results on YouTube. This for the past 3 or 4 months, I haven't. I'm experimenting right now. I haven't spent really anything on advertising. I've tested the waters and just about everything, even on SoundClick a couple years ago. But I really believe in just kind of putting more effort into the content. And I believe that if the content's good, people will find it, people will buy it. And kind of just taking an organic approach now and kind of letting the music do the work.
So would you say one of your main sources of sales is YouTube?
Oh, hands down. YouTube is my number one source of traffic.
So how over the last, I guess, only 4 years did you build up such a loyal subscriber base that eventually morphed into a customer base?
Honestly, just being consistent, putting out a couple beats a week, or at the least one beat a week, and doing that for 4 years. I think that I have enough of an original sound where people keep coming back to me. People keep watching me. Like, not every beat is amazing. Not every beat is going to be everyone's favorite, but I have that consistent original sound that people seem to gravitate back to. So honestly, it just keeps coming back to the content for me.
You may have already answered this question, but what is one action, if you had to pick, that you took that you can definitively say helped increase your beat sales?
I would say polishing up my overall sound and trying to stop trying to compete with people that I don't compete with. Just, focus on which beats kind of do the best numbers and which type of beats people like the most, and then I would just do what I do in that area. Like, if I don't really make really good, like, trippy red type beats, I'm not even gonna try to compete with that. I'm just gonna stick to what I'm good at. Drake type beats, Post Malone type beats, kind of stay in the style that I'm doing, and give the people what they like in the first place. Don't try to do too much, because I know everyone's like, oh, you should be doing every type beat. You should be doing to hit all the target audiences. But I kind of just try to focus on the ones that people react to,
Dream Life says that same thing, and he's obviously quite good at the boom bap and classic sounding hip hop beats. And he says that's what works, and he encourages other producers to do the same. So now that this is two top sellers that I'm hearing that from. So whoever's watching this, maybe this is an important bit of advice. You're making a good income off selling beats online. The first time a major label approached you to buy a beat, you weren't really happy with the terms, right?
No, not at all.
So I know one of the things you didn't like about the major label producer agreements was the whole work for hire element, right?
Correct.
So, and just, for people watching who don't know, that work for hire is a legal term that basically means any producer selling a beat under work for hire is also selling the copyright to that beat. Another way to say that is when you sell a beat that's work for hire, you're selling your masters. And of course, work for hire contracts often pay 5 figures, so it's kind of a trade-off. Maybe it's more than 5 figures. But there are a lot of producers making good money leasing beats on the internet, and you don't sign a work for hire contract when you sell a beat.
No. Yeah, like, a lot of it is just the language that they use, and that's something that I didn't know getting into it. I used an entertainment lawyer for the first time, which you recommended me. Thank you for helping me
problem,
out.
man.
That's what I just tell everybody now. I'm like, if you're going to do any kind of major deal, just get an entertainment lawyer. It's worth it. I was lucky enough to have them explain things to me and teach me, instead of just do their job. They explained things to me on the phone and what certain things meant, so that now I know, going into deals in the future, I know things to talk about beforehand. Because you can have a conversation on the phone with someone from a label, and everything can be good, and then the piece of paper that they give you can mean something completely different. So get a lawyer.
Definitely been in that position. So because there are so many producers now making good money leasing beats on the internet, and they're not dealing with selling their masters or their copyrights, do you think labels will eventually start changing their practices so far as copyright and master ownership goes, just because of now the internet being such a dominant, it's kind of where everyone's getting beats from now?
I think they're going to have to eventually change the way they do things, because they're going to have to, because it's just, everything is starting to work differently. Because labels are buying type beats on the internet that are on YouTube. They're, you have to bring different things into the conversation. You have to say, okay, are you going to make me remove my beat from YouTube? Are you going to whitelist it? Can I still make monetization revenue off the YouTube video? There's different things that you have to talk about. And I think that the labels are going to kind of start to change the way they do things, because the way they're buying the beats is completely different. Labels are buying exclusives to beats that hundreds of people have leased already. So how does that work? You know what I mean? There's so much gray area. Right. 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 Exactly. So it's giving us type beat producers a lot more leverage in negotiation now. Um, I'm not gonna say who or what beat, but I one of the labels that I'm dealing with, I told them that I wanted 10,000 for a beat, and they said, "Whoa, like we're not even like we're paying that for like some Young Thug beats and stuff, you know." So these are huge artists that they're paying those prices for, and I said, "Well, I base my pricing off of what I've made off of leases already and what I can make off of leases in the future." So we have a lot more leverage in negotiation now, and don't sell yourself short and fall under pressure. Like know your worth and know the worth of the beat that you're selling.
What's new for Taylor King in 2018?
Honestly, I'm just trying to I'm just trying to focus and kind of recreate my sound. A big thing for me right now is to make producing less of a job and less of a formula that I'm following, and kind of make it fun again. And make it exciting again, and do new things with sounds, and kind of like I just want to focus on making good music that I like, and and making it the best that it can be for everyone that wants to buy it. So yeah.
So in addition to you uploading more beats, and we might hear an evolution of your sound, does that mean that there's going to be a Taylor King album?
I would love to do something like that. I'm working, with a bunch of like close friends and people who are making music. I'm helping. I'm working. I'm experimenting in different genres. I'm helping my friend that makes rock and stuff like that. So I'm kind of expanding my genre a little bit, and working with other people, and kind of just going back to the basics, and making everything exciting again, making music exciting again for me. Because I was getting bored. I was getting bored a lot, and it just kind of felt redundant. Like I was doing the same thing over and over again, making a beat, uploading it on YouTube. So I'm just gonna take a couple steps back, and kind of do what I want to do, focus on the content even more, and just try to make great work.
Well, good, man. Much continued success to you. Where can people find you?
TaylorKingBeats.com. YouTube, just search Taylor King. Other than that, I think you can search me on BeatStars too at Taylor King. So at Taylor King on Twitter, Taylor is King on IG. So, and that's pretty much it.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing your time and your expertise and your experiences with the community.
For sure.
We're gonna have to get on another one of these interviews once the placements come in, and you can share your experiences
Yeah.
with all that.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it.